Agreed.
And
Agreed.
if I can weigh in on the topic.
Absolutely.
Way in,
Weigh
Mr.
in.
Doge.
So yeah, I mean, sequence count is really important, and that's what Will was talking about exposed accounts and keeping an account truly secure. You can send it to it and not decrease its security, essentially. So if your main wallet or use wallet is separate from your savings wallet or where you keep the majority of your crypto, that's a good practice in itself, because if you're sending from your main wallet, you're raising the sequence count, you're putting more fingerprints out there, and later on, in theory, it'll be easier to break into. MadLab is a paper wallet. It can generate offline vanity addresses or standard addresses without needing to be connected or anything. And those files you can download. Um, what's cool about MadLab is that a lot of people in here, for starters, have been contributors. Just about every single person on this stage has been an influencer or a creator of that. And I mean, even if it's something simple like Lady K said, hey, that should have simulate swap in it. And I'm like, yes, it should, that kind of stuff. So, and the guys from TextRP and Patrick and, the theory of a wallet in general and what it should be. And for the MadLab protection of a wallet file, I don't have any UBI key or anything like that. Though out of all of the things that people mentioned, I like that the best. The problem that I have is, my dad, a family member, far less capable with this kind of stuff, loses a device, a phone goes down, something breaks, and all of these interlaced things become a problem. More of a hindrance than a helping at that point, especially if they had a minimal social footprint, and we get that a lot in, and I'm just going to say it, in the boomer generation, baby boomers, those people, a lot of them have a far smaller digital footprint, and some of them get attacked because maybe they know less. But a good way to be, I guess, less attack is really have a small online presence. So many of them don't have much of one, and the security tends to cost a lot of them, their accounts and everything. With MadLab being a paper wallet, it uses 3 passwords on top of passwords, essentially, to encrypt the file, and that has made it a incredibly robust seed file as far as getting into the MadLab wallet. And I've told people, it comes with a wallet that you have the file that I made, and it has 100 XRP in it. And if somebody can get in there, they can have it, that kind of stuff. And I personally prefer, which is slightly opposite to Patrick here, not metal, but paper. I prefer paper for paper wallets. MadLab uses paper wallets. And the reason that I prefer paper is I'm less worried about fire or water than I am metal detectors and, people getting it, that kind of stuff. I perceive, in the future, traveling with a device or something metallic, a USB stick, even a micro USB, will come up in a metal detector. I think at some point that'll all be things that people need to be concerned about as far as what's on those, and checkpoints will want to know, especially if you're going to another country, that kind of stuff. The portability and pliability of MadLab, it can't be banned. It can run on almost anything. And your paper wallet, even if you don't have the code for MadLab, you can go on another device, download it, use your paper wallet, create a new wallet, and load into MadLab directly. I really like printed paper wallets or written paper wallets with modified seeds and a process that you look at, and you just change a couple characters. And this is where it gets tricky. It's a form of a password, but it allows you to create multiple copies of that piece of paper, put them in various places in your luggage and on your person, preventing for that risk of fire and things like that. But it also makes it to where if somebody does get it, they're not getting your actual account. And you can also fund that forward facing account, the fake account essentially that they would load if they had loaded that seed file with a minimal amount of XRP or whatever your asset is. And that's what they would get. But when you look at that string for the seed, you can change it. And then if you know how you changed it, you can unchange it. And it's a really simple mental process of +1 to all the numbers, right? +1 to all the numbers. And then when you go to undo that, you say -1 to all the numbers. And once you put that in, you've put it in correct. But no one on the planet, and you won't have that written anywhere, no one on the planet will be able to replicate what you have done specifically. It would be an impossibility for them to break in or breach your account that way. And then at the same time, as far as natural disasters, elemental protections, and separation or having multiple copies to ensure for no destruction, because from what I've found, if we can create it, we can destroy it, sadly. And what I mean is that anytime you have a central point, that's the one point that of course is going to want to fail somehow. Magically something is going to want to happen to it and it'll come up missing or whatever the case may be. So I do like to have multiple of the same thing, and that's just kind of my personal like strategy on it is right here it is. You can have all of my things, but they're nothings. That's what everything leads to. So yeah,